Welcome into August of 1995, everyone. As always, we're starting off doing our morning chores. We've got 5 loads of feed we got to get hauled into all of our cattle, 3 loads up here, and we need to hit up 2 of our other lots. Then we need to sell off all of our milk, and after all of that's done, it's time to start chopping silage. So we're going to do probably 10 loads is my guess, and I'm pretty excited. Can't wait to get started into this fall with, after buying all these new fields. Everything is looking absolutely fantastic. Beans look great. Corn looks even better. So I cannot wait until October. But first, we have to get through the month of August. So we're going to start out by feeding all these cattle. Like I said, we got 5 loads to do. So we're going to get these done, and I'll catch up to you guys when we are ready to start selling our milk. All right, we've got 1,525 gallons of milk on, so we'll get this headed into the creamery, get it unloaded, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting it pulled into the creamery here, so we'll go ahead and get this unloaded. All right, we need to take $160 off. All right, so we're at $41,106. It's very, very good. So we're going to head in back to the home place here, get everything set up and ready to chop silage and get straight into chopping. Got a lot of chopping to do, and we also have alfalfa that we need to get mowed today and turned into bales for the last time of the year for our hay, so plenty of work to get done this month. All right, so we have everything set up, ready to go. We've got Grandpa in the chopper. I'm in the 7250 following behind him here. And we're going to chop up here in the home north field. Now, this is a kind of a smaller field, so it actually works out really well for chopping. We're going to do about 10 loads. We have, I think, right around 120,000 liters of silage still left over from last year. So 10 loads will be more than enough to get us through this year. However, in another year or two, I think we might be having to put up another silo in order to produce enough silage. As our cattle herds grow, we're definitely going to be going through that pretty fast. But we're going to go ahead and knock out these 10 cart loads here. So I'll catch up to you guys here in a bit. All right, this is our last trailer load into the silo. We've got 10 trailer loads in here. It went pretty quick. You can see it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm super happy with how everything went. Grandpa did a pretty decent job this time running the chopper. Got a little bit of cleanup we'll need to do when we run our combine through the field, but all in all, not too bad. So we're going to get this unloaded, get all of our silage equipment cleaned up, put away, and then we can go ahead and start into mowing our alfalfa for the last time this year. And oh boy, is that chopper filthy. Yeah, that thing's oofta. That thing is absolutely disgusting. So, like I said, we'll get all this cleaned up and get ready to start mowing some alfalfa here. All right, well, I got the 856 hooked up to our rake, and I've got Grandpa in the field running the mower. He decided he wanted to stick around, do a little more work today. And I'm not going to complain about it. So he's going to run the mower, let him get ahead a little bit, and then I'll start raking basically right behind him once he gets a couple passes in. And definitely going to save a lot of time doing it this way. So I'll catch up to you guys here in a little bit, see how things are going. But they should go quite well with Grandpa sticking around to help me out here. All right, we're just finishing up raking here. You can see this rake does a wonderful job. And Grandpa's already in the other field getting it mowed down for us. So this is definitely going well. Definitely going a lot faster than it used to. Not having to ted and then rake is definitely making a huge difference. And being able to have Grandpa here to run the mower ahead of me is also making a huge difference. So he's already got a few passes done in that other field, so we should be able to jump right in and get to raking right away and not have to wait. Well, he's not quite there yet. But he's pretty close, so we're only going to have to wait a little bit here for him to finish up the pass that he's on here, because I do prefer to do the center of the field first and then do my end row last when it comes to raking. That way everything just looks a lot neater, a lot less random grass everywhere, and makes it obviously easier for baling. So we'll let him finish up that pass, and then we can get started into running the middle here. Basically just kind of follow him the rest of the way down the field, and then we'll end up finishing up with the end rows here. So with this rake, you do need to turn it on like you do, your combine or your planter or anything like that. Otherwise it won't work. But it works as tedder and rake, and you can see I've got it set up so that I can grab two of his swaths in one pass with the rake. So we can cover a lot of ground and get a lot raked up without having to cover every square inch of the field here. So we'll run this out, get switched over to the baler, and get to baling. And I don't think I've mentioned last episode when I baled, I thought I had ended up with way more bales than normal. It had been quite a while since I had baled over here, and I didn't. It was just our normal, what we've been getting. I thought we got a lot more, so I got excited for nothing really. But hopefully, here in the near future, we can expand our alfalfa operation, because I do believe hay sales are a good way to, kind of run a second business kind of situation out of this farm here. So expanding our hay operation is something that I've definitely been thinking about and might consider doing here in the near future. All right, we're ready to start baling. Got the bale counter reset. Got it fired up, drop down, and we'll get to it here. Shouldn't take too long. And we made 85 bales the first cutting this year, and I'm guessing we're going to be right around that same number this time. All right, we're finishing up here in our first field. Not going to have enough to make another bale here, but that's okay. So we need to run to the store, actually. I completely forgot to buy more bale net. So I need to go pick up some more bale net before we jump into the second field here. But like I said, we've got 37 bales. Things are going well, minus, my forgetfulness of buying round bale net. You'd think this far into the game I'd be used to buying round bale net, but I am still terrible about remembering to purchase it. So we'll run to town, get it picked up, and we can get back to baling. All right, we're reloaded with a round bale net, so we'll go ahead and get back to baling here. So the goal is 85 bales or more, and I think we ended up with the exact same amount from the first field. I believe we had 37 last time, so we had 37 this time. Should be probably right at 85 bales total between the two fields here. All right, we got all of our baling done and ended up with 85 bales, just like I thought we would. So we'll go ahead and get this baler cleaned up, get the tractor cleaned up, get it prepped and ready for baling our straw here coming up in a couple of months, and go ahead and get all these bales picked up and put into our giant stack that we're currently accumulating here. Hey everyone, welcome into October. It's October of 1995, which means we are ready for harvest. But first, as always, we need to do our chores, and we've got a lot of chores to do. A lot of cattle to feed. Every single pen needs feed. And up here, we need to bring 4 loads of feed up here. I did not feed them enough, and they actually ran out of TMR last month. I don't think it affected the milk production, but definitely got to be a little bit more careful here. And make sure, I'm lined up correctly. There we go. Now we should be able to unload. Definitely need to make sure I'm more careful about making sure they have enough TMR. Now they do have some hay and silage left over from when I ran out of TMR a few years back. So they didn't run out of feed completely, but I've definitely got to do a better job of making sure they have enough food. Also, I was a moron last month and completely forgot to sell the milk, so we're going to have a really big milk sale this month. And that's also part of why we're down to 21,000 is I didn't sell milk last month. So we're sitting better financially than we currently look. Like I said, it's going to be a really big milk sale this year, or this month, not year, this month. So take that into consideration. But yeah, we've got, what, 4, 5, 7 loads we have to haul of feed before we can get started into our harvest. So we're going to do that, get these 7 loads taken care of, get our milk taken care of, and then we can jump into harvest. And it's going to be a big one. We added 2 new fields, technically 4 new fields, combined them into 2 separate fields. And yeah, we've got a whole bunch of acres. We're up, around 200 acres now. So that's very, very good. So we'll go ahead, get these loads of feed hauled here, and then sell our milk. All right, well, while I'm unloading our last feed wagon here, I guess I didn't even think to tell you guys that we've really expanded. So we're up to 93 cattle in this barn. That's partly why we ran out of TMR last month, was I didn't account for the extra cattle. Not a big deal, like I said, but, something, is very exciting. We're almost up to 100 cattle in this barn. So our herd is absolutely growing. And our pasture is really, really starting to fill out. As we take a look around here, you can see there's just a whole bunch of cattle out here in this pasture. Everybody's doing wonderfully. Now, we are starting to have some females that are born that are infertile. So I've had to keep a close eye. We've got 3 of them down in our fat cattle lot already. And I've got, I think, 1 more that's not quite ready to be weaned yet, but she's getting close. But I'm thinking that's a part of the update for the realistic livestock, because that was not an issue up until the update happens. So that is something I'm going to have to keep an eye on moving forward here. It's perfectly fine. In reality, if you have a set of twins and one's male, one's female, they are both infertile. So it's not that big of a deal, especially when I know that some of our cows are having multiple babies, that the females are infertile. So that is definitely right there with reality, just like the realistic livestock mod would suggest. So we've got 3 more loads of feed we got to get hauled over to our other corrals here. So we'll get those done and get back on schedule to hauling milk. All right, we're unloading over here in our Hereford pen. You can see it's filling up quite fast. Everybody's doing quite well, but just like our Holsteins, there's a couple of females in here that are not fertile. So they will have to be moved when they're ready to be weaned, and that's okay. But everything, like I said, is looking quite well over here. And we've got 2 more Herefords waiting to calve yet, and then they will be completely done. And I want to try and get these guys to calve in the spring instead of in the fall. So I will time that with moving the bull in later this year to make sure that we can kind of try and time that out a little better. So we won't have any pregnant cows for a while in the Hereford pen, but that's, the way I'm planning it anyway. So we've got 2 more wagons of feed to haul here, so we'll get those taken care of. And we definitely need to consider upgrading our feed wagon very, very soon here. And now we're feeding our Holstein fat cattle lot. You can see it's got quite a few head in here. And they're, definitely in all different sizes currently. There's some that are big, some that are still little. But we've got a few months yet before we have any that are ready to be sold. And like I said, there's already 3 females in here. And I've got for sure 1 more, maybe 2 more to put in here yet. But yeah, everybody otherwise is very healthy and doing quite well. So I'm very happy with that. And we're going to have quite a few head to sell this year. And that's definitely a good thing, if we were just row cropping, I don't think we'd actually survive. I think the reason we're doing as well as we are is very specifically because we have multiple different streams of income off of this farm. So I'm definitely not going to be getting rid of the cattle anytime soon. They are absolutely a necessity for us moving forward and not losing this farm and going bankrupt. All right, and last but not least is our Hereford fat cattle pen. You can see some of them have grown quite a bit. Got a couple of little ones yet, but they should be growing here in a couple of months. We've got quite a while yet before any of them are ready to be sold as fat cattle. But thankfully, everybody is doing quite well and is quite healthy, so we're doing very, very good in the cattle department. Unlike some of the other animals that we've tried to have on this farm. I think we've got the cattle pretty well dialed in. All right, that is the last of the feed we needed to haul for this month, so we'll go ahead and get this put away and jump in the semi and go ahead and haul our milk into town. All right, we've got 4,167 gallons of milk on here, and this is 2 months worth because, like I said earlier, I was a moron and completely forgot to sell milk last month. Thankfully, that is the first time with the cattle milk that I've done that. And I'll try really hard to make sure I don't do it again. But we're going to get this into town, get it sold at the creamery, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled in at the creamery here, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. All right, and we need to pull back $1,200. All right, so that puts us at $32,386. I'm very, very happy with that. So we've got all of our cattle chores done now, so we run it back home and get ready for our first time harvesting in these new fields as we're going to start with soybeans. All right, we're just getting pulled into the field here. Just try and catch up to the combine, see where they're at, see how they're doing. Got both of them rolling out here in the field. I'm very, very happy about that, and it's almost 9 a.m., so I'm curious to see how fast two combines can, get this field hammered out here. So, this is all kind of new for me. I've never really run course play before, so this should be very interesting, to say the least. Now, the combines do have the same size header, should be running about the same speed. So everything should go well, I hope. But this is going to definitely be a learning experience for me. So hopefully everything goes well. But definitely not. I'm definitely a little nervous. Let's put it that way. But so far everything seems to be going well. First combine's made it to the first corner and around, and everything's going well there. So I'll catch up to you guys whenever we get our first combine at least close to full here and see how far around the field they make it. I don't know if they'll make it a full headland pass or not. All right, we did not quite make it a full headland pass here before we had to unload. And I'm pretty okay with that. Everything's looking pretty good here. Other than, we're a little close to the header. Not a fan of that, but at least we made it to a good point where we could unload on the go here and not have to worry about stopping the other combine that's behind us. So we'll get spun around here because I'm sure that one is getting very close to being full as well. Now I'm just going to do this like I did last year. I've got the semi set up over the auger, and I'm just going to run the grain cart back and forth until and hopefully that works. Hopefully I don't need to get the semi out. Not 100% sure, but I should have enough time, especially with this being beans. Now, corn, on the other hand, the combines will definitely fill up a little bit faster. And with me contouring that hill at the home place, I don't know if I'm going to run both combines or not, because I can't set them up to run the contour. At least not this year. I'd have to record the path in order to do that, so I'm not quite sure what we're going to do there, but for now we need to worry about our beans. So looks like basically one headland pass here will give us half a grain cart, so we should be filled in no time and hauling butt back to the home place to get this thing unloaded. And everything should work out. I've got faith that it's all going to work out the way I think it's going to. All right, we're dumping our first grain cart load into the semi, and it's dumping into the bin. And we're definitely not going to be keeping up. Our second combine will for sure be full before I get back. But that's okay. We are, in the field that is the farthest away from the bin site here. And they're not going to have to wait too terribly long. This is pretty quick to unload. Other than I'd never even thought about the fact that I'd have to back in because we don't have the cornfield harvested yet. Whereas last year that wasn't an issue. There was more than enough room because the end rows were gone. But we'll get back to the field here, get the combines going as soon as we can. And so far, first grain cart load, everything went very, very well. The first combine should just about be done with the end rows by now. And starting into the, main bulk part of the field here. All right, we're dumping our second grain cart load already. Things are going quite well. Our end rows are done in the field, and the combines are starting to do the up-down passes here. So hopefully I get back in time this time. I think having the one combine stopped for a bit might have spaced them out far enough that I'll have time to get one unloaded before the other one gets full when I get back. But we're definitely going to be cutting it close. But this is definitely going way better than I had hoped it would. I was definitely nervous, but things are going absolutely perfect so far. All right, as you can see, both combines are rolling still. And this is the only one with his beacons on, so that's a good thing. That means we caught up, and neither one of them actually stopped harvesting. So I'm very happy with that. Like I said, I think we got the spacing just about right here. So we'll go ahead and get this guy unloaded, get the next one unloaded, and it's, about 3 combine loads is what it takes to get us full. So I'll catch up to you guys here after a bit and see how things are rolling. All right, we have our first field finished up here. And we've got the combines rolling in the second field. We ended up with 156,040 liters, or 4,427 bushels off our first field. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and get this second field hammered out here. Things are going pretty well. Taking a little bit longer than it probably should have because I'm making some adjustments and trying to figure this out still, so going a little slow, but all in all, things are going quite well, and I'm very, very happy with where we're at so far. All right, and this is our first grain cart off of this field, full grain cart, I should say, and we're just about, 3/4 of the way around the field for the end rows here, or headlands, however you want to say it. So yeah, this field is definitely yielding quite well. And should go pretty fast. It's a little bit narrow and very long rows, so should be able to cover a lot of ground very quickly. But we'll go ahead and get this delivered into the bin and hopefully get back before one of the combines ends up full. All right, we've got 303,986 liters in our bin. We're done with our beans, and that, if we take the 156,040 liters that we had from the first field, that gives us 147,946 liters for our second field, which converts to 4,197 bushels. So that gives us a grand total of 8,624 bushels of beans for this harvest. Pretty happy with that. Now we'll go ahead, get everything switched over and ready to run corn. And I can't wait to see how much corn we get off of our big field. Our little field, obviously won't be a whole lot, especially since we chopped in it, but I'm very, very excited for this big cornfield. So we'll go ahead, get everything switched over, get the combines ready to roll in the cornfield, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get started. All right, as you can see, we got both combines rolling here. They're not going to run the entire field. I have no idea how to set up to, for them to combine that contour that I did. So I'll end up contouring that myself, but I can run them for the end rows, and once the contour's done, I'll probably just go ahead and set them back up to run their normal course again. But you can see they're definitely doing a weird thing with straw swath. One's dropping a normal straw swath, and the other one's only seems to be dropping like a half. I don't know what's going on there, but we're going to do the straw swath across the entire field. I need to get a lot of corn stalk bales. That way, A, we need them for bedding, and B, obviously I need to sell as many stock bales as I can this year. As, we are only at $30,000, and we have a lot of bills to pay, so every bale counts, and every bale I can get, makes a difference. But I'll be curious to see how far we can get here before the grain cart fills up for the first time. It looks like this lead combine here is already getting close to needing to be emptied, so that's a good thing. That means we're going to get a big yield and have a lot of corn to sell here in the near future. Alright, well, we only made it about 3/4 the way around. Maybe, I don't even know if it's that much. Maybe slightly more than halfway around our first headland pass before we got filled up here. So that's a great thing. That means we're going to have a crazy amount of corn. Problem is, I'm definitely not going to be able to keep up with 2 combines. There's just no way I'm going to be able to keep up, but that's okay. At least we're going to be able to harvest faster than with just 1 combine. And, it's definitely going to keep me busy, that's for sure. So once we get down to the end here, I probably should have left myself a little bit of headland here just to be able to drive around, but oh well. I wanted the extra acre, the extra acres for planting, so this is going to work out just fine. But by the time we get down to the end, I'm guessing the combine behind me will probably be full and stopped. So, yeah, trying to keep up is definitely going to be a losing battle. But I'm here for it, I'm ready for it, and I'm definitely very, very excited for it. Alright, well, thankfully, this corner around the bend slowed them down enough that neither one of them actually got full, so I was able to catch up. So we'll go ahead and grab what this combine has left on it, and then we can grab what the back combine has, and we should be good. This little janky corner here definitely saved us on this go-around. Alright, we are ready to go ahead and start opening up this contour on the field. So we'll go ahead and dive in here. Hopefully I'm somewhat close to where I'm supposed to be. I believe I am, so we'll go ahead and get this contour opened up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the ridge. And then hopefully by the time we're done with all of that, I can get both combines rolling again down here in the flat bottom. And catch up on, the time that we're going to miss here only running 1 combine, since I have no idea how to set up multiple combines to run something like this. Alright, well, as you can see, I got all of the contour opened up here, and I went ahead and hired up the combines again on workers. Make sure that we can catch up a little bit on time here, as it is starting to get later in the afternoon. And they're not going to run exactly how I planned the ridge, but it's going to be really close. So they're going to run all of the essentially straight rows here, and I'm just going to run the grain cart. We ended up getting 2 full grain carts off of just doing the contour here on the side hill. So I'm really happy with that. But we'll go ahead and get the combine in here and see how much longer this field's going to take. And we still have the north field across the highway here. So we've got a lot of combining to do, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Our first grain cart here, not quite full, but it's pretty close. So we'll go ahead and get this dumped off since we are right down here by the grain bin anyway. But so far, going very, very well. I'm very happy to have both combines running again. That is for sure. So we'll just keep trucking right along here. I'm guessing it's going to take probably another couple hours yet just to get this field finished, and then we have, you know, our other fields. So not sure if we'll get our baling done this month. It may end up happening in the month of November. So I am going to go ahead and rake up all of the corn stalks here, because the rake is big enough to pick up 2 of the swaths and combine them into one. And that'll save us a little bit of time on the baling part of this. But that's more just so I'm not running around the field, you know, 1,000 times with the baler. I don't know if it's really going to make a difference. Probably going to cost me more time in the end. But just for baling, just to keep it simple, that's the way I'm going to do it. But yeah, everything's going quite well, so waiting on the combines to come back down here. They'll have that ridge finished up probably in the next grain cart. If not, it'll be the next 2. And it'll just be them working on the bottoms here. Alright, we are just a shade over halfway done with this field, and we've got 303,870 liters in the bin already. That is incredible. Very happy with it. We'll go ahead and jump up here into build mode. And you guys can see we've got a lot of long rows left here, but things are going quite well. I'm very, very happy with where we're at. And you can see where we contoured. Looks very good. And yeah, them running just straight back and forth has worked out quite well. I've already started doing a little bit of raking, getting some of these areas combined in together here. But it looks like we have a combine that is full, so we need to get back in the grain cart here and get out to it and get caught up. So things are going quite well. Very happy with where we're at, and really no complaints here. This big field is going very well, and it's pretty exciting getting, you know, this much corn out of one field here. All right, we have our big field officially finished. Got our new combine already rolling in the home north field, and we've got 476,068 liters in our bin here for corn. So I'm super happy with that. Our yield was absolutely fantastic. Definitely going to make plenty of money this year to cover all of our bills. So I'm very, very happy with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the harvest in the north field here. Finish up raking our corn stalks in the home place field here. And that's probably going to be it for this month, as it is almost 5 o'clock already. So I'm hoping we can get all of this done before it gets dark tonight. But, you know, who knows? So we'll go ahead, finish up this harvest, and, yeah, hopefully get, you know, maybe, I think another 100,000 would be pushing it, but since we already chopped out of that field, but, you know, maybe we can get another 50,000, 60,000 liters yet. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and get this harvest finished up here and see where we end up at the end. All right, it is about 6:30 in the evening, and we finally finished up our harvest. What a long day. But it went very, very well. I'm happy with the way things went. We got a lot accomplished. And we ended up with 553,071 liters of corn in our bin. And that translates over to 15,690 bushels of corn. Very, very happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night, and I will see you guys in the morning, as we have a lot of field work to do. We've got baling to do. So we are far from done with our fall field work here. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning. Welcome into November, everyone. As always, we're starting the morning off getting our chores done. We've got 5 loads of feed we got to get hauled here. So we're going to get those knocked out, get our milk sold. Then we need to get straight into finishing our raking for our corn stalks, and then baling. And then we've got manure and slurry to get spread, cultivating to do, and probably not enough time to get it all done this month. But that's okay. We have all winter and spring to get this stuff done, so not a big worry. As long as we get our chores done and the baling done this month, everything else will be pretty much smooth sailing. Alright, we've got 2,822 gallons of milk on. So we'll run into the creamery, get this sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. Alright, we're down here at the creamery. We'll go ahead and get this milk sold off here. And we need to add $200. So that puts us at $19,729. So we'll head back to the home place, get the rake hooked up, and start raking our corn stalks so we can get them baled. Alright, we got all of the raking done, so we're now ready to start baling our corn stalks. So we'll get this thing fired up, get it dropped down, got our bale counter reset, and I'm guessing we're going to have, probably somewhere around 200 bales. That's my guess, so we'll definitely have to refill our bale net once, maybe twice, but it's definitely going to be a lot of bales coming off this field. Maybe 200 might be a stretch. These are 7,500 liter bales, so maybe closer to 150. Alright, we got all of our baling finished. We ended up with 202 stock bales. So we're going to go ahead and get the baler drug back to the home place here, get it all cleaned up and put away for the winter. We'll also go ahead and give the 1586 a bath, because it is in desperate need. As you can see, it is quite filthy. And then we can go ahead and start getting all of these bales picked up. Once that's done, we've got a lot of field work we got to get done yet this month, and probably won't get it all done. Definitely going to be some field work in the month of December yet, so. But we'll go ahead and get what we can done, and I'll catch up to you guys once we get all of these bales picked up. Alright, well, we've got all of our bales picked up, and I've got Grandpa in the 4786 spreading slurry. I'm in the 7250 here spreading manure, and we're going to cover as much ground as we can before we start having to cultivate, and we're starting as far away from the main farm as we can with our fields, and we're going to work our way back. So we'll get this all spread out, get to cultivating, and see how far we actually end up getting this month. Not sure, as it is, already noon. I don't know that we'll actually get any cultivating done here in the month of November, but I'm sure hoping we can, because we definitely need it. Alright, we're doing a little check-in here. Things are progressing quite well. The field we're currently in is almost done. We're getting real close here. We are running low on manure, though. So I think we'll have enough to finish this field, but we're definitely not going to have enough to do, our big field or home north. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. We'll probably have, no probably about it. We're definitely going to have to buy some solid fertilizer, which is unfortunate, but, a part of expanding as much as we have, not a surprise. As you can see, Grandpa is hooked up to the cultivator now and running in this field. And we are officially out of slurry, so had him hook up to the cultivator so he can start cultivating this field. And I hired another worker, and I can't see him. I'm not sure where they're at. But in that far south field, and they're cultivating with 1586. I didn't know if it would have enough, oomph to pull the cultivator, but it seems to be working, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll go ahead, finish spreading manure in this field, get whatever last little bit that we have left started in the big field, and then we're going to be switching over to our solid fertilizer. So I'll catch up to you guys here in a little bit as we continue progressing, but things are going quite well, as it is only 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've gotten, honestly, more cultivating done than I thought we would. All right, well, we are officially out of slurry and manure. So I went ahead and bought a fertilizer cart load of fertilizer here, and that's about $950. So that's awfully expensive to be spreading out in our big field. So I'm going to leave that until spring, and we will, produce more slurry and manure throughout the winter. So hopefully that'll cover, if not the whole field, a good portion of the field. So that's what I'm going to, kind of bank on and hope for. So I'm going to go ahead and spread dry fertilizer in this small field. This cart should cover probably all of it, if not a little more. Depending on how much we have left, I might take some, down into the big field and just get a little bit covered at least. But we'll go ahead and finish this up, finish up all the cultivating in these 3 fields. And I won't do any cultivating in the big field until, we get all of our slurry and manure spread. So that is going to be it for the month of November. Now I'll catch up to you guys in December when we sell off some of our bales and do our normal December chores here. Welcome into December, everyone. We've got 4,421 gallons of milk on our trailer here. So we're going to go ahead and get this run into the creamery and get it sold and adjust the price accordingly. And also, as we drive by here, you're going to see all of these fields are cultivated. So it's been quite a while since I've actually spread dry fertilizer in the game, and I completely forgot how far it'll actually go. So that one cart was more than enough to get both the home north field and the home place done. So they are completely fertilized, and I still have fertilizer left over, believe it or not. That was kind of crazy. Didn't think it would go that far, so we ended up doing all of our field work last month, and I really hadn't planned on that. So, that's great. We're a step ahead, which is always nice. But, also didn't get a lot recorded because I set a worker to spread that fertilizer, thinking, they'll just run that cart out, no big deal, and went and did something else, and when I came back, the field was done. So, my apologies for not getting more recorded there. But this month, we've got milk to sell, and we're going to sell off some of our stock bales and hay bales. Right now, crop prices are not great, so we're going to hold off, hopefully this summer, get a better price. But for now, we're just going to hold on to our corn and soybeans, and that is, my plan moving forward here. But we'll go ahead, get this milk sold off. All right, we need to take $380 off. All right, so that puts us at $22,344. That was very good. Our milk production is up on, for the year here. Usually seems to be we're at our highest production in the winter months, so that's very good. That more than covered all of our monthly expenses, so very, very happy with that. Now we'll go ahead and head back, get some bales loaded up, and get those run down to the bale sale here and get them sold off. All right, we've got a trailer load of bales here. We'll get this run down there. And I guess I forgot to mention, I've already done all of our chores for today. Got all the cattle fed. And I've set a full trailer load of bales over here by our silo to make sure we have enough to get through the winter here to feed our cattle. So the rest of the hay bales will get sold. Not all of the stock bales will get sold because our big barn is going through more than what the barn will hold for a year. So we will have to continue feeding that barn stock bales throughout the year, which is fine. Not a big deal at all. So we'll set, it won't be a whole lot, just probably 5 to 10 stock bales off to the side that we'll keep throughout the year. And we'll sell the rest of those. So we've got a lot of bales to get sold this month. And I'm pretty excited. It should make us a lot of money here. All right, we're down here at the bale sale, so we'll go ahead and get these sold. And it looks like we had a couple that fell off. Not a surprise. We'll go ahead and get those picked up. All right, after doing the math here, we got to take $6,771 off. All right, so that puts us at $26,244. So I'll head back to the home place here and reload multiple times, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get all of the hay sold off here. All right, we're down here at the bale sale with our last load of hay, and this is load number 10. So we'll go ahead and get this sold off here. Thinking maybe backing up will work a little better, and it certainly did. So we need to take $6,729 off. So that puts us at $60,243. Very, very happy with that. So we're going to head back to the home place here, and now we can start selling off our stock bales. So we've got quite a few loads of corn stock bales we need to get sold off here. And like I said earlier, I will set, 5, 10-ish, somewhere in that area off to the side for us to use throughout the year, and we'll sell the rest. All right, we're down here at the bale sale, so we'll go ahead and get these stock bales sold off here. And we need to pull back $7,476. All right, so that puts us at $62,193. So we'll run back to the home place, reload, and make this, round trip a few more times here, and get all of the stock bales sold off. So I'll catch up to you guys when we're on our last load. All right, we're down here with our last load of stock bales, so we'll go ahead and get these guys sold off. All right, and we need to take $7,476 off. All right, that puts us at $75,159. I am very, very happy with where we're sitting financially right now. That is absolutely fantastic. So we've got some decisions to make here this winter on what we want to do with this money. We can hold on to it. We can maybe make some equipment upgrades, possibly buy some more land. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to think on that. Hey everyone, welcome into March of 1996. Things have gone well throughout the winter. We bought one new field. It is an alfalfa field. I think we're going to go ahead and double down on our hay sales, as hay is not as volatile as corn or soybeans, and just a lot more steady income stream, not quite so risky. So we're going to go that direction. Now, we don't have a whole lot to do this month because we got all of our field work done in the fall. So I've already got our chores done, which are becoming quite the job in and of themselves, as we're running about 6 loads of feed a month here currently, because our cattle herd has grown and our feed wagon is pretty small. So that's something that we definitely need to consider upgrading here in the near future, the very near future. And we have some cattle that we got to get sold off this month. We've got some fat cattle that are ready to go. So we're going to do that right after we get this milk sold off. But all in all, pretty good winter, pretty uneventful winter, other than just feeding cattle. That's basically all I did all winter long. Just feed cattle over and over. But you know what? It's well worth it. I'm very happy our herd is growing. So can't really complain too much, I guess. But we're getting pulled in here to the creamery. So we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off, and we have 3,487 gallons on. All right, we need to take $804 off. All right, so that puts us at $29,025. I'm very, very happy with where we're sitting financially right now. Now, we do still have a little over 2 years left of payments on our 2750 and our Kinsey planter. But once those are paid off, we're going to be sitting really, really good. Now, we'll obviously have our mortgage. That'll never go away. We're definitely not going to make enough money to get that paid off anytime soon. So we'll just keep making the normal monthly payments on it. But if we do get chance, which is going to be hard with needing to, you know, upgrade the feed wagon. But if we do get a chance, I would like to try and make a little extra payment on our tractor and planter. Try and get those paid off a little sooner here. But I'm going to head back to the home place. We'll get the Ford hooked up to the stock trailer and get it loaded up with some fat cattle so we can run down to the sale barn and get them sold off. All right, we got our trailer loaded up here. We've got 17 animals on it. That is definitely not realistic. You're only really going to get about 8 on a trailer like this, but, well, it's Farm Sim, and I'd much rather just make one load as opposed to doing 2 loads here. So we're going to get these guys run down to the sale barn and get them sold off and make a little bit of money here. All right, and as we're on our way down here, we look off to our left. That's our new alfalfa field. So I didn't want to overspend, so I only, you know, purchased 1 field this year, but alfalfa was definitely the right choice, I do believe, as, you know, like I said earlier, hay prices are just more stable. But you can see there is 1 more alfalfa field in this line, and I do think it'd be pretty cool to, you know, also be able to purchase it and get all of those combined into 1 big alfalfa field. That that would be pretty cool. I think that would be something to, you know, look forward to here in the near future. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get all of these cattle sold off here. All right, and we need to take $27,974 off. All right, so that puts us at $44,908. Pretty happy with that. You know, we're getting about $1,000 a head for our cattle. Close, not quite. I guess that was shade under $1,000. But, you know, still very good. Very happy with that payout. Definitely disappointed. You know, I'd take that basically $28,000 off. That does stink, but that is part of, you know, this series is making sure we get the prices correct for 1990s, or for the 1990s. So that's pretty much going to be it here for the month of March. I've got a couple of cattle I need to move out of our milk barn and down into the fat cattle lot, but other than that, we don't really have anything else going this month, so I will see you guys in April. All right, well, I lied. We're not done for this month. I completely forgot that I was going to spread ag lime in our big field and the home north here. That whole solid fertilizer debacle last month kind of, you know, got me frazzled and messed me up a bit here. So we got our first cartload of lime on here, and we're going to go ahead and spread both of these fields with lime this month and make sure that, you know, we're getting as good a yield as we can here. Don't think they quite needed it yet, but I do know they were getting pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead, get this big field and that other field spread here. This is going to cost us, a couple $1,000 in ag lime, but that's okay. You know, probably around 2,500, $3,000, but it'll definitely be worth it in the end because it's going to boost our yield. All right, well, we got all of our lime spread, so that is good to go. We are officially ready to plant next month. And I'm mowing down our alfalfa this month because I want to get our new field and our other alfalfa field all combined into 1 big field this year. And if I do it this month, we will be able to get 3 cuttings off the field, which will be, you know, absolutely fantastic. Now, I've been doing it in the month of May because it is more realistic that way. But at the same time, we realistically get 3 to 4 cuttings of alfalfa every year that we're not getting now. So I went ahead and hired up a worker. They're mowing our alfalfa down for us. We're going to be raking right behind them here. Let them get, you know, a few passes out ahead of us. That way we can get this baling done as fast as possible. And then we'll grab the 1586, the chisel plow, and get those 2 fields combined into 1. And then we can pull out our seeder that we've only used, I think, twice, and go ahead and get the alfalfa reseeded because A, we'll need to fill in that little spot. B, I think it would be good to, continue on with the realistic way of doing things. And, it is about time for our field to have the alfalfa replanted, as it would be starting to die off about now. So that's going to fit in, really well with the way we're doing this series. But, yeah, mowing in March is definitely not a thing, but we're going to do it this time just for the very simple fact that, I kind of need to, just to make things a little bit easier, as there's not a whole lot going on this month, and next month is going to be absolutely crazy. We've got so much planting we have to do next month, and it's going to, between planting and spraying, it's going to take up the majority of our time. But I'll let her get a few passes out ahead of us here, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get all of this alfalfa knocked down and raked here. All right, we got all of the mowing and the raking done. Got the baler out here rolling. We've already got 2 bales on the ground. And we're going to hammer out these 3 fields as quickly as I can here. And I honestly have no idea what to expect for a yield here. To be completely honest, I didn't even check the yield on the new field. I just went ahead and mowed it and raked it. So we're all going to be pleasantly surprised as to what the yield is going to be. Now, I know the yield will be good on our 2 fields that we already own, but yeah, the new one, not a clue. But I'll go ahead and hammer these 3 fields out, and then we can get to doing some chisel plowing and cultivating. All right, well, we're done baling this field, and we're short. Usually we get like 25, 26 bales off this field, but we did not this time. We only got 19, so that is an issue. So I'm guessing probably not a good idea to harvest alfalfa in March. That's my guess. It must be too early, so we definitely won't be doing this again. This is kind of a special deal here, so not not the end of the world by any means. We're still going to get 2 more cuttings off these alfalfa fields yet this year, so this is kind of a bonus. But definitely disappointing that we ended up having a short yield here. So I'm really hoping that that 3rd field had a pretty decent yield to it, to really actually make this worthwhile here. But we'll jump into field number 2 and see how this one goes. Hopefully, maybe it'll do a little better. I don't know. Guess we're going to find out. All right, well, we're done baling the 2nd field, and we're only at 43 bales. We're at like literally half of the bales that we normally get off those 2 fields. So yeah, definitely not worth baling in March. That is 100% confirmed. But we'll see, get another 20-ish bales off of this field, and at least I hope I do. And yeah, we'll be sitting okay, I guess, but we'll just go ahead and start into doing our tillage and reseeding here. So yeah, definitely don't try and do alfalfa hay in March. That is, yeah, 0 out of 10, don't recommend. All right, we are done baling. We ended up with 67 bales. That is terrible. That's 20 bales short of what we normally would get off of our 2 fields. So, yeah, I will reiterate, do not, and I repeat, do not bale in March. At least alfalfa. That was terrible. So we'll go ahead and get all these bales picked up, and if you look off in the distance there, you can see I did put up a hay shed. We were getting enough bales after I got all those stock bales done that I was starting to have frame rate issues, so unfortunately I did have to put up a hay shed. I really didn't want to. I really like having the bales sit out. It's definitely, a lot more realistic for this area. You just pick a spot, and there's rows of bales, and that's, the way it is. But unfortunately, my PC said different, so we now have a hay shed. So that is where we will be storing all of our bales from now on. So I'll go ahead and get this cleaned up, grab the pickup, get all those bales picked up, and then we can start worrying about doing our cultivating and chisel plowing here. All right, we are now ready to go ahead and get these two fields combined together. So I've got the chisel plow on the 1586 here, and we'll see how well I can keep this straight. Thankfully, this chisel plow is nice and small, so that does help a bit, keeping everything nice and straight. That actually turned out pretty good. I'm not too disappointed in it. So I'll do 2 passes on the end, and then I'll run down to the other side, do 2 passes on it, and fill out everything in the middle. And these 2 fields will then become 1. Or at least be 1 step closer, I guess. And when I'm running down the edge of the field, I always like to make sure that this pass, I've got a good overlap, make sure that there's no issues with, a small patch of grass being left behind here. So plenty of overhang, not a big deal, doesn't hurt anything at all. And I see the edge of these 2 fields does not line up. That's interesting. You can look down and see both of the next 2 fields line up perfectly, but this one does not line up with these 2. So we'll have a little curve in this section of the field. Not a big deal. Try and make it as subtle as I can. That way, if I'm hiring a worker mowing and stuff, it's not too big of a deal. All right, that looks pretty good. Yep, it's not too big of a curve there. Just a slight little jaunt. And just like that, we are done. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the 4-wheel drive with the cultivator. It'll pull the cultivator a little bit faster through the field. We'll get all of this cultivated up. I'm guessing we're going to need to spread some lime. Definitely going to need to spread some manure. And then we can get to planting. So we've got probably a couple hours worth of field work left here. And then we will finally be done in the month of March, even though I said we weren't going to be doing a whole lot this month. That's kind of the beauty of farming. You always end up finding something to do, whether you had it planned out or not. All right, so we've got our cultivator hooked up here. We're running through the field. And one nice thing about this cultivator on the 4786 is we can run about 12 miles an hour. I don't believe it's supposed to go this fast, though. I think it has to do with how high the hitch is on the tractor. It does that kind of glitch where, if you put a weight on the back of a tractor and raise the weight, it'll raise the tongue up so it doesn't recognize that it's in the field and supposed to be running slow. I think is what's happening, but, regardless, I'll take it. 12 miles an hour is so much better than 7. So we're going to get these 2 fields knocked out here in a hurry. All right, we got all the cultivating done. I'm going to go ahead and spread some lime out here on the field. Now, thankfully, with this being alfalfa, you only need to spread lime once and you're good to go. So, honestly, doing this part of the field is kind of pointless, but in the necessity for, well, even reality, you're not really going to spread lime on an alfalfa field. I mean, there's definitely cases where, specific times when you would, but, whatever. Anyway, we're going to get this lime spread out. Then I'm going to switch over to our manure spreader, get manure spread, and then we can go ahead and seed. All right, we got all of our manure spread on all of our alfalfa fields here. I guess technically now there is only 2. So we'll go ahead and drop this down and get to planting some alfalfa here. So this is going to take a little bit. This seeder is obviously not very big. but, you know, we rarely ever use it. It's, you know, it's kind of funny how things, you come into a series with a plan and stuff just doesn't go the way you expect, the way you think, and you end up, you know, hardly using equipment. Never used the pig barn. Definitely thought I'd be using that, but, you know, it's just, you know, funny. It's amazing how things just change over time. So we're going to go ahead, get this field hammered out, and I will catch up to you guys when we get her done. All right, we are finally finished planting our field here, or seeding, I guess, probably be the more proper term here. But yeah, we are finished. I'm very happy with the size of the field, how everything went, and this is definitely a very, very good upgrade for our farm. As you know, like I said earlier, hay is definitely a more stable commodity. So we are done doing field work for this month. So I'm going to go ahead and get our seed and everything else that we need, which should at this point only be seed, to go ahead and plant next month. I have God's plenty of herbicide. I way overbought that last year. Pretty sure I have enough for this year and maybe even next year yet. That was my bad. But on the bright side, you know, it saves us the input costs for this year and at least the majority of next year, if not all of next year, for our herbicide. So yeah, I think we just need to pick up seed, so I'll get that picked up yet today, and we will be ready to rock and roll with the planter next month. So I will see you guys in April. Hey everyone, welcome into April. It is April of 1996, and we've got one busy month ahead of us here. We've got a whole lot of planting we need to get done. We've got cattle that we're currently feeding. We've got, 5 more loads of feed to get hauled. So yeah, this feeding cattle is definitely getting crazy with this small feed wagon here. So I know I've been complaining about it a lot, but man, I really wish I had a bigger feed wagon. And once we get done planting, we need to do some spraying. So we've got a very, very busy full month ahead of us. It's going to take basically the entire month to get all of this done, but I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for where we're at. You know, get more crop out in the field. We still haven't sold any of our crop from last year. The prices just haven't quite rebounded to where I want them to be. And that's okay. We can sell them sometime this summer. You know, we're sitting 25,000, which isn't great, but it is enough to get us by for, you know, quite a few months here, especially with selling milk and our garden firing back up next month. So that's, you know, a very good thing there. But I'm going to go ahead and hammer out all of these cattle chores here, and I'll catch up to you guys when we are ready to sell off our milk. All right, we've got 3,166 gallons of milk on here, and we're going to get this run down to the creamery and get it sold off. And I also took 4 bales of straw up to our dairy barn there to make sure that they don't run out. Everybody else is sitting pretty good on straw yet, but they were definitely getting pretty low there. So got them taken care of. All chores are done, so once we get this milk sold off, we can get right into the field and get to planting. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this sold off. And we need to add $30. All right, so that brings us to $33,884. Very, very happy with that. So we will head back to the home place here and grab the 7250. It's already hooked up to the planter, and get straight into planting our corn. All right, we are now officially ready to start our corn planting. I'm very excited for this. Both of our new fields from last year will be planted into corn. And if we take a look across the road here real quick, you can see our alfalfa field looks very, very good. Nice long rows. I'm going to make baling super easy and super boring, if I'm being completely honest. But okay, so we got the planter fired up here. Get it dropped down. And we'll get to planting here. So I've already bought all of our seed for the year, so we won't have to worry about running out. Or I guess I should say we won't have to worry about running short, would be a better term. We are definitely going to run out. We do not have enough, the planter does not have enough capacity to cover all of our fields. So we will be refilling multiple times throughout the day here, but all in all, I'm pretty stoked with where we're at on this farm. I think things are going quite well. And if we play our cards right, I do think we could add that other alfalfa field yet this year. I do think that might be a thing. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. And let's just really focus on getting this field planted and trying to keep the rows straight. I am doing a terrible job of that right now. For whatever reason, my first pass around the outside is never straight. But we'll get this field hammered out, and I will catch up to you guys when we get it done. All right, we are officially done planting our corn for the year. Everything went very, very well. I'm super happy with how fast this has gone, as you know, it's about 10:45 or so. And yeah, really no issues. I'm very, very happy with where we're at. Now, we're going to be switching over to beans for the home place and home north. And I'm going to be planting it a little bit different this time. We're going to go back to planting just straight back and forth on this field. It's taking, you know, about 4 to 4.5 hours to do the contouring, which I absolutely love. I love the contouring. It looks amazing. You know, it's a lot of fun to harvest, but it's it's getting to be to where it's taking too much time to make these recordings. I just don't have that much free time, so we're going to go back to planting straight back and forth after I do a little bit of maintenance on our tractor here and the planter. But this should go a little bit faster here. So I like to do maintenance in between switching from corn to soybeans. A, because it's more realistic, and B, it really does matter keeping up on the maintenance on your machines in game, on how efficiently they work and how, you know, good of a job they do, especially with your harvesters. So we'll get everything switched over to beans and get started in the big field here at the home place, and then we will finish up in the home north field. All right, we're officially ready to start planting our soybeans, so we'll go ahead and get this fired up, get it dropped down, and get a row marker out here and get to planting. Now, I'm very, very excited for this field. This is the first time we're going to be doing beans on it since we've combined it into one big field. And our corn yield was, you know, absolutely fantastic off of this. So I'm expecting the same for the soybeans this year. And they don't yield as high. However, they do have a much higher sale price. So I'm pretty excited to see how much money this field is actually going to make us on the soybeans. But for now, we need to get it planted. So I'm going to go ahead and get this field planted, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get her finished. All right, and just like that, planting season of 1996 is officially over. So we're going to go ahead and get this planter all cleaned up, put away, get the tractor all cleaned up and put away, and then we'll go ahead and grab our old sprayer that I really wish we could replace, but as always, I like to do the pre-emergent spraying. It, you know, prevents any weeds from popping up, and it's just, you know, a guaranteed little bonus that we don't have any weed pressure. And get the maximum yield that we can actually get off these fields. All right, and just like we did at planting, I'm going to go ahead and start with the farthest field away from the home place here and work our way back. So I'm going to go ahead, hammer out all 4 of these fields here, and I will catch up to you guys in the month of May when we're ready to knock down our alfalfa and get it turned into hay. We're not going to be doing anything else this month. We'll go ahead and get the spraying done, and that's going to be about it. Running at 9 miles an hour, this, going to take probably 3 hours, so by the time we get that done, there's just not going to be a whole lot of time in the day to really do anything else, and we don't really have anything else that we need to do, if I'm being completely honest. So, like I said, we'll catch up to you guys in the month of May. Welcome into June, everyone. We have a very, very busy month ahead of us. We have a lot of cattle to get fed here, and we've got all of our alfalfa that needs to be knocked down and turned into hay. All of our fields look very, very good. I'm very happy with where our corn and beans are. And really, all in all, the farm's doing quite well. We're only sitting at about $21,000 right now, but we have not sold off all of our milk, or any of our milk, I should say. We have sold off all of our garden products. And I had a minor issue with our chicken pen, so it got deleted. It wasn't really doing much for us. I don't think I've even ever really shown the chickens in this entire series, so I deleted it. No big deal. We didn't really lose out on much there, but it's okay. This farm is definitely changing and evolving, and I'm very happy with where it's at. So we're going to go ahead and hammer out all of these chores, get our milk sold, and then we can move on to making some hay. But first, we have to haul this feed, and there's like 5 loads that need to be hauled this month. So we've got plenty of chores to keep us busy here. And I suppose while I'm here, I just will jump the fence and we can take a look at our cattle. So we've got 97 head of cattle in this pasture now. And you can see it is very, very full. And we've got babies, we have juveniles, and we have full-grown cows, and 4 bulls in here. So this pen is filling up quite well. And I'm very, very happy with, where all of our cattle are. And you can see we've got brand new baby girl here, looking cute and adorable as always. And yeah, this realistic livestock mod is great. Truly is great. There's definitely a lot of features I'm not currently using, just because the last update really changed how the realistic livestock mod works. So since we were as far into this series as we were, I decided not to use most of the new features, but we will be using those in future series here. So we're going to go ahead, get the rest of our chores done, and get back to our regularly scheduled programming here. All right, well, I was wrong. We had 5 loads of feed just to the dairy barn. So we'll have 7 loads in total here. Now we're coming over to our Hereford barn here, and all of our girls that are old enough are pregnant. So we will be having some more calves here in about 9 months. I'm very, very excited for that. And it worked out pulling the bull and putting him back in to make sure that they all calve at the same time. Make it a little bit more realistic that way, at least with our Hereford cattle here. And we need to feed our fat lot for the Holsteins yet. Our fat lot for the Herefords is sitting just fine. But everybody is, happy, healthy. Genetics are all fantastic in all of our bloodlines here, so I'm also very happy with that. But as you can see, this lot is going to be very full once they start dropping calves here. And you know what, I'm very excited for that as well. Things are going really, really well as far as the cattle department here. Now I just need our crop prices to scoot up a bit, and then everything will be absolutely fantastic. All right, we're pulling up here for the fat lot for the Holsteins. And you can see everybody looking good. This lot's got quite a few cattle in it itself. I'm very, very happy with that. Nobody's really close to being sold. We've got probably close to another year yet, but that's okay. We just sold off some cattle not too long ago, so everything is, moving right along just as it should be. And now we're ready to go ahead and sell off our milk. We've got 2,351 gallons on. So we'll head down to the creamery and get this sold off and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're pulling in down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off here. And we need to add $573. So that puts us at $27,674. It gets a little strange when I have to add money for selling off a product, at the price that it was in the mid 90s compared to, 2025, where the base game should be. Yeah, that definitely gets a little weird every time it happens. It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, the milk price in game is just that bad. But we'll go ahead, take this back, get it parked, and we can get out the International 5000 and start mowing down our alfalfa. All right, we got the International 5000 out here. Get it fired up, drop down, and we can get to mowing down our alfalfa. Now, we learned, a very valuable lesson this spring, and don't mow your alfalfa in March. So we should get a significantly better yield out of this cutting here in June, now that we've had A, 3 full growth cycles, and B, it's not early spring. So we already kind of know what this field will yield, but I'm curious as to what, the next field yields with us combining both of those into one big field here. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this knocked down. I'll get it tedded, and I will catch up to you guys when we are ready to start baling and see what the numbers come out to be. All right, we are officially ready to start baling. So we're going to start in our small field. Go ahead and get this thing fired up, drop down. I have the bale counter reset. So we'll go ahead, get this field knocked out, and then I can't wait to see what we get off of our new field here, or our newly created field. How about that? All right, we have our first field already done. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the big field here and see how many bales we get. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm hoping for a lot. So I'll catch up to you guys when we get all of this baled up here.
Jump into the car on a Friday night. I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town. I've never seen a sky so blue. We don't ever play it in the 90's young. It doesn't matter what we do. There ain't nobody like. There ain't nobody like. You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. Talking about yourself and you make
up here on the end, and it's looking like we got 100 bales off this field. I don't think we'll have enough for another one, and no, we will not. So, pretty happy with the yield off of this field. You know, we ended up with 137 bales in total, 100 off this field, 37 off the other. So I can't complain at all. We are definitely going through a lot more bales now than we used to, you know, just for feeding our cattle. But this is definitely going to give us plenty of hay bales to sell, and we will get one more cutting yet this year. So I'm going to go ahead and get this baler cleaned up, maintenance put away. We'll get all the bales picked up, and then I'm going to spread manure across the fields. So that is going to end this month. Hey everyone, welcome into August of 1996. It's been a pretty good summer. Not much has changed here on the farm this year, but we definitely have a lot of work to do this month. We've got our chores we need to get done. We have milk that needs to get sold. We've got some fat steers that need to get sold, and corn that needs to get sold. So corn is going to be the biggest sale we've ever had on this farm, and that's very exciting. The fat steers we have to sell are out of our Hereford pen, and that's exciting. This will be the first time we've turned a profit off of our Herefords, and we also have chopping that we need to get done this month. So we have a very, very busy month ahead of us, but as always, we're going to start out with getting our chores done, getting all of our cattle fed, and getting our milk sold off first. So I've got 4 loads I need to bring up here to the dairy barn, and 2 loads to take down to the corrals, and then we will be done feeding cattle. So I will catch up to you guys when we get the cattle all fed and we're ready to sell off our milk. Okay, so we've got 2,067 gallons of milk on. We'll get this run down to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled into the creamery here, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. All right, we need to take $147 off. So that puts us at $19,480. So pretty happy with that. August always seems to be our shortest month on milk, so from here, you know, through the rest of the winter, our milk production should go up. But we'll go ahead, head back to the home place, and I want to get our fat cattle sold off right away. And then we can start chopping, and we'll do our corn sale last. All right, we got our fat cattle loaded up here. We've got 7 of them on the trailer. So we're going to pull around, need to get a little fuel in the pickup, and then we will head down to the sale barn and get these guys sold off. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these guys sold off. All right, we need to take back $18,203. So that puts us at $26,253. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm, you know, excited to sell our first round of fat cattle out of our Hereford lot. That's, you know, very exciting. That's why we have that lot, is specifically to sell them off as fat cattle. So now we're going to go run back to the home place here and get everything set up for us to start chopping some silage. All right, we've already got Grandpa all set up in the field here. So we'll get pulled in behind him and we can get to chopping. Now, we went through basically all 10 loads of silage last year, so we need to do a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and fill that entire silo all the way up, and hopefully that's going to be enough to get us through this year, because we will be using more than we used last year.
You close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. We ride around in style, sleeves rolled up, glasses on, and then you make that smile and my heart starts racing when I'm with you. When I'm with you. Can't get enough. want you close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. I feel I never let you go now. When you're looking like that, can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine. Never-ending sunshine.
And with this last wagon, our silage chopping is officially done for the year. Things went very, very well. Took a little while, but all in all, I'm very happy with how everything went. And we're going to go ahead, get everything cleaned up, put away, and get ready to switch over and start selling off our corn. All right, we got all of our silage equipment put away, cleaned up, maintenanced, and now we are ready to go ahead and start selling our corn. We have a lot of loads to get sold here. So we're going to start out with this first load, get it run down to the co-op, and adjust the price accordingly here. All right, we're getting pulled in down here at the co-op, and we are getting $4.46 a bushel. So we are selling off every bit of corn we have. So we'll go ahead and get this sold off and adjust the price accordingly. All right, so we need to take back $16,603. All right, so that puts us at $27,853. Now, I'm honestly not even sure how many loads we have. I haven't done the math on that, so we're going to head back to the home place here. I'll figure out how many loads we got to make, and I will catch up to you guys on the last load. All right, we are pulling into the co-op here with our last 680 bushels of corn. So we'll go ahead and get this sold off and adjust the price accordingly. And we need to remove $9,635. So that brings us down to $92,402. I'm very, very happy with this sale. That is absolutely amazing. Definitely by far our best sale on the farm, and it's not even close. So this is going to be it for the month of August. Now I've got to figure out what what I want to do with that 92,000, because I'm definitely not going to hold on to it. We're buying something. So I will see you guys in the month of September. Welcome into September, everyone. We did go ahead and spend a lot of money. We purchased this new feed wagon, and by new I mean it's new to us. It is used. We spent $25,000 on it, and I'm very happy to have it. It holds a lot of feed, so we can really change how we do our feeding around here. Now, it's definitely oversized for our corrals, but it's gonna work out just fine because, we don't have to fill it all the way for every corral. But it's going to definitely speed up our feeding process. And we ended up also spending another $55,000 on our loan for our tractor and planter. So that was, huge. We still owe about $35,000 on it, but I do believe we're going to be able to get that paid off today. So we have chores we need to get done, milk we need to get sold, hay we need to get mowed, raked, and baled. And we're also going to sell our beans this month. So beans are at a high right now, so we will also get those sold off. So we have a very busy month of September ahead of us. Usually September is a pretty quiet month here on the farm, but not this year. So we're going to sell all of our beans. It's going to be a huge sale, just like the corn was, and I cannot wait to get to it. But first, as always, we need to get all of our chores done. So we'll go ahead, fill this feed wagon up again, and start feeding all of our other cattle. All right, we've got 2,494 gallons of milk on here. So we'll get this run down to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled in here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this sold off. And we need to pull back $400. And that brings us to $13,852. So we're sitting pretty good. Doesn't look like it right now, but like I said earlier, our bean sale is going to be huge. And it just might outdo our corn sale, to be completely honest. So I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait to get to it. But first things first, we need to get our alfalfa mowed down and get to baling here, because it's going to get cloudy this afternoon, and with clouds there's always that chance of rain, and I don't want our hay to get rained on, so we need to make sure we get that taken care of before we start selling our beans. All right, we are finishing up our last pass on this field for our alfalfa here, getting it all tedded and raked here, and I've already got the mower rolling in the other field, so this is going pretty quick here. And, you know, everything's going pretty much as normal. There's nothing too exciting about alfalfa, at least not until it's time to sell it anyway. So we'll get this thing moved over into the next field, get it all prepped and ready, and we'll go ahead and get it baled up. Should be somewhere around 102 bales again, I do believe. So I'll catch up to you guys when we get the baling done, and we'll see how many bales we actually end up with here. All right, we are pulling into the co-op with our last load here. We have sold off 7 full loads of beans, and I had a bit of an audio issue, so there's going to be a bit skipped here. We're going to go ahead and get all this last little bit of beans here sold off. It's 541 bushels. So we'll get this sold off and adjust our price accordingly here. And we need to take back $14,209. All right, so that puts us at $77,600. Now, we did get all of our alfalfa mowed, baled, and all the bales picked up and put away into our bale shed. I have not spread any manure yet, and like I said, we sold off 7 full loads of beans plus that partial. So things are sitting quite well here in the month of September. We'll start our harvest next month, but there's something I want to get done this month before we start our harvest. So we're going to head back to the home place and see if I can't get this figured out. And, well, I've got it figured out, but we'll see, if I can get all of this accomplished before the rain starts. So I will catch up to you guys when we get back to the home place. So as you can see, we've spent almost $50,000, and I've got the rake hooked back up because we are going to mow some more alfalfa here and hopefully get all of this baling done before the rain hits. Rain's not supposed to start until 4 o'clock, but I did go ahead and purchase this alfalfa field. Now, I did not spend $50,000 on this alfalfa field. I spent $20,000 and another $28,000 on a field up by the home place, or I should say up by Home North, and we're going to be able to expand that field even further. So Walter apparently owns every field in the county, and he's definitely willing to, wheel and deal on farmland right now. So we picked up both of these fields at $1,682 an acre. So I think that's a pretty good price. I'm pretty happy with that. But we're going to go ahead, get this alfalfa mowed. I'm going to get this field combined in with the other 2 fields that are here already that we've already mowed. And this is going to be one gigantic field. I'm also going to take the fence out between the barnyard and the alfalfa field so that this is all just one long field. It's going to give us a crazy amount of hay bales, and that's a good thing. So we are down to 28,000, but that's okay because we have a crazy amount of hay bales already, and we're going to be adding more. So we're going to have one heck of a bale sale this winter. I'm very excited for that. But first, we need to get this alfalfa mowed raked and baled here. So I will catch up to you guys when we get this done, and I can't wait to see, how many bales we get off of it. Don't even know if it's fertilized. Have no idea what the yield's going to be. So this is going to be interesting to say the least. All right, we are officially ready to go ahead and start baling here. So we'll get this fired up, get it dropped down, and see how many bales we get off of our new alfalfa field here. This is definitely exciting. I'm very happy to be where we're at here in this series. Things are going very, very well. We've expanded, quite a lot of acres here. And, yeah, I'm impressed with how far we've been able to go, considering, we're running prices from the 1990s here. But we'll go ahead, knock all of this baling out, hopefully before the rain hits. And, yeah, we'll see how many bales we end up with. Oh, we ended up with 52 bales off of this field. I'm pretty happy with that. So that means we should end up with about 200 bales per cutting next year off of all of our alfalfa, and that is absolutely wonderful. So we'll go ahead and get this baler cleaned up, put away, and get it prepped and ready to bale some corn stalks. And also go ahead and get those bales picked up before the rain hits. Can make sure we get those into storage. And then we can start doing some tillage here. We got to get the fields combined in together. I want to straighten out the rows here a little bit, the edges of the fields. And we also need to get some seeding done. So we got a lot to do. Hopefully we can get it all done before the rain hits, but I honestly have no idea if we'll manage that or not. All of our plowing done, and also did some lime. Now we're going to go ahead and get our manure spread here, get these fields fertilized. We've got a lot of cultivating to do. It's time for this field to get reseeded. I have no idea when our new field was reseeded, so that's also going to get done this month and this year. And that'll make this entire whole new field that we've, kind of created here all seeded in the same year. So that will be, absolutely fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and get all of our manure spread here. This is probably going to take a bit, and I don't think we're going to get the seeding done before the rain hits. Not sure how long that rain's actually going to last today, but if there's time, I'll try and get the seeding done. But if not, it'll have to wait till either late next month after we get the harvest done, or wait until October or November, I should say. So probably won't get the seeding done, but that's okay. Not the end of the world by any means. All right, we got all of our cultivating done here. Everything's fertilized, limed. So we're going to go ahead and drop this seeder down, and we're going to get to planting, or seeding, however you want to put it. Definitely won't get it done today. If that rain hits, I'm kind of hoping it misses us. That would be fantastic. But I'm going to go ahead and get all of this seeding done as quickly as I can. And hopefully this tractor works. Yep. Nope. Definitely not. So I'm going to go grab the 1586, hook it up to the seeder here, and we'll use it for seeding, because this tractor just doesn't seem to have the horsepower that it needs. I mean, we're going downhill and having issues. So we'll see how far I get before that rain hits, and I will catch up to you guys in a bit. Well, we made it almost one full pass before the rain hit. So we're going to wait for this rain to get past us here. Hopefully we'll still be able to, finish seeding here this month yet, but right now it's, definitely not looking great. Hey everyone, welcome into October of 1996. It's a very exciting month. We've got a whole lot of harvesting to do, but as always, we're going to start out getting our animals fed, get all of our cattle fed, get our milk hauled, and then we can jump into harvest. We're going to need to bring 2 loads of feed up here, if I can stop. My goodness, the brakes are not very good when we're fully loaded here. But I'm going to bring 2 loads of feed up here, or a load and a half anyway. And then we've got a couple loads down at the corrals. And, well, now I got to get used to this new feed wagon. So probably 1.5 up here, and maybe one full load split between the corrals. I'll have to figure that out yet. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get these guys all fed. Everybody's doing absolutely fantastic here. See, we're up to 126 animals up here in our dairy barn. And everybody is very, very healthy. This honestly couldn't be going any better if I wanted it to. This is absolutely fantastic up here. So also, you know, our cows back down at the home place, they're also doing absolutely fantastic. So yeah, struggled a bit with a couple other animals in this series, but the cows have been absolutely flawless and perfect. And you can see I did end up getting all of our alfalfa seeded last month. Ended up doing most of that in the dark. Highly do not recommend to do that. Should have waited probably. But, you know, it is what it is. We got it done. And that's, you know, just one more thing checked off of our list here. So this new feed wagon is absolutely fantastic. And I'm, you know, very, very happy we have it. It's definitely cutting our chores way, way down. So I'm going to go ahead, reload here, finish off with feeding our cattle, and then I will catch up to you guys when it's time to haul our milk. All right, we've got 3,319 gallons on. So we'll go ahead, get this hauled into the creamery and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off here. All right, we need to take $614 off. So that puts us at $28,407. Very, very happy with that. So we'll go ahead and head back to the home place here, get everything set up and ready to start rocking on our beans. We'll go ahead and get our beans knocked out, and then we can switch over to corn. All right, we got both combines rolling up here in the home north field, so this won't take very long at all, and then we can jump into our new field that we just purchased this fall, get it knocked out, and then we can move into the big home place field, and that'll be all of our beans. Now, that sounds like it's not going to take very long, but it's probably going to be, oh, you know, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon before we get all that hammered out, so this is going to be quite a long harvest here, but I am very, very excited about it. Cannot wait to see how many beans we actually end up with out of this harvest. So I will catch up to you guys when we get our first grain cart load. All right, we have our first grain cart load here. We're going to go ahead and get this run down to the bin, get it dumped, and hopefully get back before the second combine is full, but I really, really doubt it. I'm sure they'll end up sitting for a bit, but that's okay. We filled up really fast, a lot sooner than I thought we would. So that's a good thing. We're almost done with this field. It's very narrow, very long, and these combines are absolutely covering a lot of acres really fast. I'm very, very happy with how fast we're getting through this field. Oh, and I hit a tree. Yeah, I've hit that tree more times than I can count. So we'll go ahead get this grain cart unloaded here into the bin. This is our first one. And yeah, very, very exciting. Harvest is starting off very, very well, and that's a good thing. Don't need to be having issues, you know, first thing here. So we'll get this thing folded out, and I'll catch up to you guys on our next grain cart load, which should be, I think, in the next field here. All right, we got our first field done here. Got the combine switched over to the next field, and this field produced almost 2 full grain carts. Was not expecting that at all. Very, very happy with that. So we'll go ahead and get this thing emptied out and get back to this new field of ours. So we can kind of, you know, check it out a little bit, see what it's like, and also hopefully get back before the combines fill up. Our beans are definitely yielding very, very well, and we're going to have one heck of a bean harvest here. So that's awesome. I'm very excited for this, but we'll go ahead, like I said, get this emptied out and get back into the new field here, hopefully before either of the combines fill up. All right, this will be our third grain cart. Did not expect to get a full grain cart off this field, so pretty happy with that. That is for sure. But we'll go ahead, run this back to the home place here, get it emptied, and we will be able to finish up this field. And I can't wait to get this plowed in all together and make it one big, long field. You know, adding acres is definitely a good thing here. Expanding our farming operation ensures that we can, you know, continue to grow our cattle herd as well. The more acres we have, the more feed we can produce. And that also means the more milk we can produce. So we'll go ahead, get this thing emptied out, and finish up that field, and then we can get started into the big home place field. That one is definitely going to take a hot minute, but very, very excited to get into it. That is for sure. All right, we are on our fourth grain cart load here. We're finally moved down into the home place field and making our first round around the headlands here. Bean harvest is continuing to be very, very good, getting great yields, and everything's working out just fine. All the machines are running well, and I'm very, very happy with where we're at here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this dumped off and continue running here in the home place field. Now it's 10 o'clock, and I'm still guessing it's going to be probably 1, maybe 2 o'clock before we get this field done here, because this is a very, very big field with no bigger equipment than we have here. Now we can't upgrade yet because this is the 1990 series, and this is really the biggest equipment that was available in 1996. So for now, we can't really do anything about making our combining any faster here. But we'll go ahead and get this emptied out. Everything's going well. It's just a little time consuming at the moment. All right, checking in here. We're about halfway done through this field, and this is grain cart 7 or 8, I do believe. Honestly, lost count, but it's going, you know, quite well. These combines are hammering this field out really fast. It's only 11 o'clock. Did not expect to be this far by now. So that's great. I'm very happy with that. This is going significantly faster. That's since we're not doing the contouring here. But we'll go ahead, get this emptied out, and we can move on to getting this field finished here. All right, well, it is 12:15, and we're officially done with our bean harvest. I'm very, very happy with how all of that went. It went very quickly, and we got a crazy amount of soybeans. So we've got 390,257 liters. I have not done the conversion yet to see how many bushels that is, but it's a lot. Definitely our biggest bean harvest ever on this farm. And, you know, I was expecting that, but I definitely wasn't expecting it to be this many beans. So, yeah, I'm super happy with that. Now, I've already got the combines maintenanced and switched over and ready to roll in the corn. So we need to get the auger switched over to the corn bin, get the truck moved over, and we'll be ready to rock and roll in our cornfields and, you know, get our harvest finished up. Honestly, we might be done by, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which would be absolutely fantastic. All right, we've made it one time around the field for our headlands here, and the grain cart is full. So, corn harvest is starting off with a bang. Did not make it very far. Very happy with that. We'll go ahead and get this dumped into the bin and hopefully get back before one of the combines fills up. As slow as we're going, don't think that's going to happen. This tractor definitely doesn't exactly have the power. I might need to pull out the four-wheel drive to pull this grain cart, because this might just really isn't going to do it if we're only doing 11 to 13 mile an hour across the field here trying to get back and forth to the bin site. So we'll go ahead and get this emptied out, and I'm going to go ahead and get the four-wheel drive out. That way we can, you know, have a little more horsepower and get across the field a little bit faster. Otherwise, we're just never going to be able to keep up here. All right, and this is grain cart load number 2. Finished all of our headland passes here. And as you can tell, I definitely, I went ahead and hooked up the 4786 to the grain cart. And we're definitely going across the field a lot faster. Like literally double the speed. So, very, very happy I made this choice to put the grain cart on the 4-wheel drive. Because we definitely would never have been able to keep up with the 7250. And as you can see, our money did dip a little bit because I took a little bit of time, went over to the shop, got the 7250 fixed up a little bit. It was starting to get down there on needing some repair, and that cost almost $3,000. And I didn't realize just how many hours we already have on the 7250. It's crazy how many hours I've put on that thing in this series. But we'll go ahead, get all of this emptied out here, and get back to it. All right, we got our first cornfield finished here. It is 2:15, and things have gone quite well. Definitely took a little bit longer than I had thought it would. Mostly, I think, because those fields, I'm pretty sure, are bigger than I actually think they are. Yeah, it's just misjudgment, but we should be done, well before dark at least. Don't know if I'll get all of the stock bales baled up this, before dark, but no big deal. We'll definitely get it all raked together tonight yet. And yeah, harvest is going great. We've got a crazy amount of corn off that field already. And, one more field to go, and shouldn't take too much longer as, most of the end rows have already been combined. So all in all, I'm very, very happy with where we're at. And this system is definitely working really, really well. I'm able to keep up now that I've got the 4786 hooked onto the grain cart. So it's keeping me very busy, a lot of driving back and forth, but yeah, it's working really, really well. All right, we're about halfway through our last field here. It's now getting close to 3:30 in the afternoon, and everything's still going quite well. Yields are absolutely crazy. I think we're going to probably end up somewhere around 500,000 liters of corn coming off of these two fields, which is insane. So very happy with that. We're going to have a whole lot of grain to sell here in the near future, which is definitely, a good thing. But starting to wonder if we will get any of our raking done for getting these corn stalk rows merged together here yet today. It's going to be dark here in another couple of hours, so that's going to make getting any work done a little difficult. It definitely sucks trying to rake in the dark, as it does get very, very dark on this map. But all in all, everything, like I said, has gone very, very well. So trying to keep up with 2 combines is not the easiest thing in the world by any means, but for the most part, I'm doing pretty well. So we'll finish up the rest of this field, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get it finished. All right, our harvest is officially finished. It is 4:30 in the afternoon, and I messed up. So we ended up with 648,419 liters of corn, which is absolutely fantastic. That comes out to be 18,395 bushels. Where I messed up was not paying attention to the corn price. The corn price is plummeting, and it's not looking to be any better in 1997 as far as futures are looking. And I should have sold all of this corn this month. By not selling this corn this month, I cost myself $4,231. That's how bad the price is going to drop for the month of November. Now, with it being 4:30, we don't have enough time to haul this in, get all of this hauled into the co-op this month. So we're taking, a $4,200 hit because I didn't pay attention to corn prices. Soybeans are looking much better for the futures. but right now is not great for the soybean price. So we're not going to sell any soybeans next month, but we are 1,000% selling all of our corn next month because it's going to be way low. So here in August, we sold corn at $4 and I think it was 82 cents a bushel. We're selling corn next month for $2.61 a bushel. That's almost a $30,000 difference between what we sold in August and what we're going to sell here in November. That hurts. But that's kind of how farming goes. So our cattle prices are looking to stay steady. I don't see too much fluctuation in that for the futures prices, so I'm very happy with where the cattle prices are. Cheaper grain means a bigger profit on cattle prices because we don't have the input costs. Now, that's not exactly a thing here in FS25, but it makes me feel better anyway. So, we're going to go ahead and get everything cleaned up, put away, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on raking, and I'm going to rake until nightfall and see, you know, how far I get. I doubt I get it all done before the nightfall hits, so I'm sure we'll have plenty of raking to do in the month of November and baling up all of our corn stalks. So I will catch up to you guys in November, and hopefully things go quite well. Hey everyone, welcome into November of 1996. We got a little bit of our corn stalks raked. Almost got one field. I'd say it's probably 3/4 done. Maybe a little more. Still got the other field we haven't touched yet with the rake, so we got that to get done this month. We got all of our corn to get sold this month. And only one load of feed this month. This new feed wagon makes it easy to kind of overfeed the cattle. So that's, you know, kind of convenient this month with all the other work we need to get done. We got fertilizing we need to do, cultivating we need to do. And yeah, just a lot of work that we need to get done here. And our girls are doing absolutely fantastic up here. You can see we're up to 131 head in this barn. A lot of new babies out there here in the last couple of months, and we're due to get a few more yet. So that's very exciting. So we're going to go ahead, get this feed wagon put away here, grab the semi, and go ahead and get our milk sold off here. So I'll catch up to you guys when we get the trailer loaded. All right, we've got 5,289 gallons on. So we'll get this run down to the creamery and adjust the price accordingly. All right, pulling into the creamery here. We'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to add $170. All right, so that puts us at $22,673. So we'll get headed back to the home place here. Grandpa should be at the farm by now, and get him going in the four-wheel drive, spreading some slurry, and I can get back to raking our corn stalks so we can get those baled up. All right, we got Grandpa rolling in the field here with the four-wheel drive and the slurry spreader, and I got the rake still hooked up to the 856 here, and we're going to go ahead and finish raking this field, move on to the next one, and then we can jump into baling. Got a lot of work to do this month, and a lot of money to make. Not as much money as, you know, earlier this year, but you know what? I'll still take whatever we can get. All right, we finally got all the raking done. Grandpa's almost done spreading slurry in the big field. So we're going to go ahead and get this baler fired up. I got the bale counter reset, and we'll get to baling. Probably going to take, no, I bet 2.5 hours, maybe a little longer to get all of this baling done, but it's definitely going to be well worth it. So I'll hammer this field out and catch up to you guys here probably when I get all the baling finished, so we can see how many bales we actually ended up with. We got all of our baling done. We ended up with 207 stock bales, which is absolutely phenomenal. Super happy about that. Also got both of the four-wheel drive and the 7250 rolling out in the field, cultivating. We got 2 fields fully fertilized, and we are now out of slurry and out of manure. So we're going to have to switch over to some solid fertilizer here. But for now, we need to get this corn hauled. So we've got the truck loaded up with our first load, so we'll head down to the co-op and start getting all of our corn sold off here in the month of November. All right, we're getting pulled into the co-op here, so we'll go ahead and get this load sold off and adjust the price accordingly. All right, so we need to take So we need to take $6,717 off. All right, so that brings us to $33,109. So we've got a lot of loads to haul here, so I will catch up to you guys when we get all of our corn hauled here. All right, we are pulling into the co-op with our last load of corn here. We've brought down 15 full loads, and now we have this not quite full load here. So we'll go ahead and get this dumped off and adjust the price accordingly. And we need to take back $14,129. All right, so that brings us to $82,412. So that is it for our corn, and pretty much going to be it for this month. I'm going to let the 2 tractors run until it starts raining, or they finish with their fields, and I'll see you guys in the month of December. Got some big plans here that I'm hoping I can pull off, but we have our milk that we need to sell, and we also have some hay bales and corn stock bales we need to get sold next month in December. So we've got plenty to do next month, and I will see you guys then. Hey everyone, welcome into December of 1996. We got a lot of work ahead of us here this month, and as always, we're going to start out with feeding our cattle. However, we're going to start out a little different this time. We're going to go over to our fat cattle here, our fat Herefords, and get them fed first, since I have a little over 12,000 liters of feed left over from last month still in the feed wagon here. So we'll go ahead and get this dumped off, and then we can haul our other 3 full loads of feed here. We'll need 2 up to our dairy barn, and we're going to split a load between our Hereford cows and the fat lot for the Holsteins here. So we've got a lot of bales to sell this month. We've got some dry fertilizer we need to get spread this month. We're not going to be doing any lime this year, so that's an input cost that we're not going to have. And we have bales that need to get sold this month as well. So we've got a lot of work to do here. And cultivating, I guess I almost completely forgot about the cultivating we need to get done. So yeah, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're going to start out with feeding our cattle here. So I will catch up to you guys when we get that done. All right, we've got 6,488 gallons of milk on. So we'll go ahead and get this run down to the creamery and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled in here to the creamery. We'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to add $250. So that puts us up to $38,067. And I completely forgot to mention, we paid off our tractor and our planter loan. Got that taken care of, and we bought another field. That's why we're down to the $38,000 that we're at. So I'm very happy with where we're at. It's great having that tractor and planter finally paid off, and it's great adding another field yet. Now the field that we added is actually right in front of us here. We're going to combine it with the new bean field from last year and our home north field, and that's going to be one very, very long field. It's not going to be very wide. It does widen out at this end, but it's pretty narrow for the most part. But there's going to be some extremely long rows in this field. Pretty excited to get it planted, pretty excited to get it harvested. But it is December and we can't do either one. So we'll go ahead, get this milk trailer taken back to the home place here, and we're going to get ready to start selling off our hay bales. All right, we got our first load of hay bales loaded up here. So we'll get this hauled down to the bale sale area, however you want to say it, bale dealer, and go ahead and get this sold off. All right, we're down here at the bale dealer, so we'll go ahead and get these bales sold off here. And we need to take $5,327 off. So that puts us at $43,345. Now, I guess I completely forgot to mention, alfalfa went sky high in 1997, at the end of 96 and beginning of 97. And I don't know why, but from what I found, dry alfalfa bales were $203 a bale, which is crazy, nowhere near what we've been getting for them. And corn stock bales are $100 a bale. I'm not going to take the time to research it and find out why those prices spiked when, you know, like corn and soybeans and other, you know, field commodities dipped. But yeah, we're going to make a killing off these bales. I honestly had no idea dry alfalfa was going to go that high. If I did, I would have made sure we had 1,000 of those bales ready to sell this year. So I'll catch up to you guys when we're on our last trailer here of hay and see how much we actually make. Because to be completely honest, I don't even know how many bales of hay we actually have here. Here at the bale dealer with our last load. We've brought 11 full loads down, which is 286 bales, and we've got 13 bales on this trailer now, so that's a grand total of 299 bales. So we'll go ahead and get this load sold off here. And we need to take $3,124 off. So that brings us to a grand total of $97,628. Now we're going to go ahead and get switched over to our corn stock bales and get all of those sold off. And I do know how many of those we're going to sell. We've got 197 bales to sell. All right, well, we got all of our bales sold. We're up to $117,000. I'm super, super happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on plowing all these fields together here. I've got Grandpa in the 7250 spreading some dry fertilizer that we had left over from last year. And I'm guessing it's probably going to get that field done, and it might get all of this done as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I do remember last year it went way farther than I had expected it to. So we're going to go ahead and get all of these plowed in together, see how far Grandpa can get with that fertilizer. And eventually, once he's done with that field, we can get the 4786 out and get that field all cultivated up. And once this is all plowed and fertilized, we can get all of this cultivated up as well. So I will catch up to you guys here in a little bit and see how our progress is coming. All right, we've got all of these fields plowed together, and we'll jump up here into the map, and you can see we've got all of this plowed in together now. Zoom in a bit here, and I added almost a full planter's width, maybe a little more, along this entire southern edge of these two fields here. And you know, every acre counts, so this should put us up somewhere pretty close to 250 acres for this next year. I'm very, very happy with that. It's always exciting to expand. So we'll go ahead and get this cleaned up, put away. We'll get the 4786 out. Should be able to get it hooked up to the cultivator and start cultivating our farthest south field. I would think Grandpa's got to be getting pretty close to being done spreading fertilizer in that field. So at least close enough that we can go ahead and get the cultivator rolling in that field as well. And once he's done down there, we'll move him up here and get this home north field that we just finished expanding, all fertilized up and ready to be cultivated as well. And that's pretty much going to be it for the month of December. I'm going to hold on to this money for now. I've got some plans that I am hoping to get done here this summer, but we're not going to be doing too much here this winter, as it's going to be too cold to really do any kind of construction. So I will see you guys sometime in the spring. Hey everyone, welcome into March of 1997. This has been an incredible series so far. I cannot believe we're already into the year of 1997. This has absolutely flown by. I can't believe all the changes we've made on this farm. And I'm just very, very happy with how everything has gone. Even the challenging moments have been well worth it. Now, we didn't do much this winter. We just fed cattle, and you can see we're down to 122 head in this barn. And that's because we've moved a whole bunch of yearlings that were ready to be weaned down into our fat cattle lot. That's becoming kind of an issue. Game-wise, it's fine, but just aesthetically, it's bothering me that there's such a mix in that pen. So I do want to put up a new pen and address a few things around the farm this year. I'm really hoping to get it done this spring. As you can see, we're at $125,000, almost $126,000. And that's because we're making a pretty good profit just off of our milk. Not having that tractor payment and planter payment that, anymore is really, really helping us. So we've got 3 loads of feed we need to get hauled here. And we're going to go ahead and get those hauled, get our milk sold just like we normally do. And then we have a lot of cattle that we need to get sold this month as well. As far as field work, there's really nothing going on. So it's going to be a pretty short month this month. Just basically feeding cattle like we have all winter and then selling off a whole lot of cattle. But we've also had a whole lot of babies born this year, or this winter, I should say. Our Herefords have calved, and they're doing absolutely wonderful. So when we get over there to feed them, I will catch up with you guys so we can check out all the new baby Herefords. All right, we are over here at our Hereford pen, and you can see there's little baby calves running around all over in here. We've got 15 in total. We've got, I believe it was 6 bull calves and 9 heifer calves. And there's one, I believe it's just one heifer that is infertile because she was a twin. But all in all, they're doing quite well. And you can see this is filling up, quite quickly here with all these little babies in here. So I'm very, very happy with how this Hereford pen is going. Now that we've got them, kind of figured out, got them all calving the way I want them to. So I'm very, very happy here. So we'll move on here and get to our Holsteins. And you can see when we pull around the corner here, there's just a mix match disaster in here of animals of all different sizes and ages here. Now, part of that is going to be fixed this month because we're going to sell off quite a few head. I do believe there's a lot that are ready in this pen. There's also our fat Herefords that are ready to go. So that pen will now be empty. So that's going to be one less pen that we need to feed every month. But this pen is definitely bothering me with there being little calves, juveniles and full-growns in here. Game-wise, it really, truly does not matter. It's just an aesthetic thing for me. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the money this year to put up a 4th pen. That way we can kind of do some yearlings for the Holsteins here, and with the Herefords, we're already kind of splitting them out, and it'll be way better now that I've got them all calving at the same time. So that one's kind of taken care of, and will be easy to go, or easy to take care of. So we are now officially ready to go ahead and sell our milk. So I'll get the truck loaded and catch up to you guys. All right, now that we've got all of our cattle fed, we've got the semi loaded up with 6,056 gallons of milk here. So we'll get this run into the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to take back $90. All right, so that puts us at $142,867. Very, very happy with that. It's very awesome being able to sell our milk and make that much profit and have that much money in our bank account. It's not very often I have money like that in our bank account because I typically spend it as soon as I have it. But we're about to go make some more because we're going to go sell off a bunch of cattle. All right, we're starting off with our Herefords here. So we'll get these guys run down to the sale barn and get them sold off, and then we'll come back, load up with our Holsteins, and get them sold off. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these 4 Herefords sold off here. All right, and we need to take back $7,848. So we're at $146,870. And we're going to head back home, load up with the Holsteins, and bring them down here to get them sold as well. All right, and we got our trailer filled with Holsteins. I don't even know if I'll be able to pull this, to be honest. We've got 23 of them on here. Definitely not realistic, and I think we're going to need to invest in a bull rack here pretty soon so that we can haul cattle with our semi. Because we're definitely getting to the point where we have way too many to be putting on a stock trailer like this. But we're going to go ahead and run these guys down to the sale barn and get them sold off anyway. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these guys sold off here. All right, and we need to take off $28,414. So that brings us to a grand total of $169,881. And that's about it for the month of March. We don't have really anything else to do. We can't plant anything. All of our fields are prepped and readied. So all we have left is we need to buy seed yet, and we need to buy herbicide. And all of our other inputs are already taken care of. They're taken care of this fall. So we're sitting very, very well here. So I will catch up to you guys in April when we're ready to do some planting. Welcome into April, everyone. We're starting the month off like we always do, doing our morning chores here. We've got 2 loads of feed we need to get hauled, and we've got some straw that needs to get hauled up into our dairy barn. Got milk that needs to get sold, and then we can get straight into planting after that. It's going to be a very exciting month. We've expanded one field quite a bit. I'm pretty excited for it. So we've got plenty to get done here, and well, it's a beautiful month, and I can't wait to get into it here. So we'll get all of our chores done, and I'll catch up to you guys when we're ready to sell off our milk. All right, we've got 4,602 gallons of milk. So we'll get this hauled down to the creamery and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. All right, and we need to take off $125. So that puts us at a grand total of $174,871. So we're now ready to head back to the home place and get the 7250 and the planter out and get to planting our corn. All right, we got the planter ready, and we're going to get it fired up, get it dropped down, and get to planting corn. We're going to start up here in our new-ish home north field. You know, we did quite a bit of expanding here. This runs all the way across over to the main highway. So I can't wait to see, you know, how much, you know, A, seed we go through, and B, how long it takes to get this field planted. And also, this is the field we're going to be chopping silage in this year. So, all in all, I'm very excited for this. Cannot wait to get this field done. Can't wait for harvest. But one step at a time, we got to get planting done first. All right, we're coming up to the end of planting here in our first field. Gone through about 40%, or pretty close to 40% of our seed. But yeah, that went pretty smooth. Took a while. Took, probably about an hour there. But all in all, very happy. I'm very excited for this field, and it is definitely much bigger than what I honestly realized. So yeah, this is going to be great moving forward here. Our farm is really, really expanded. We're starting to really farm a lot of acres now. So we'll get folded up so we can get down our driveway and get into the main home place farm, and that's going to be switched over to corn this year. And that'll be it for our corn. Our two southern fields will be beans this year again. So we'll go ahead and finish up this corn planting. And this big field, this one definitely takes a few hours. So hopefully we'll have it done by noon. That's my goal anyway. All right, it is 11 o'clock in the morning, and we've got all of our corn planted. And as you can see, I've got Grandpa in the sprayer, and he's rolling in the field trying to, save some time here and kill two birds with one stone. But we've also got the planter all switched over to beans, so we'll go ahead and get it fired up, drop it down, and get going on our beans. We've got two fields left here that we're going to be planting, and they're both going to be beans. Shouldn't take too terribly long. These are two of the easier fields to get planted here. So we'll hammer these out, and I will catch up to you guys when we get all of our planting finished here. All right, all of our planting and spraying is officially done. We got done way faster by doing both at the same time. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm really, really happy with where we're at. So this lets me know moving forward, we can definitely expand as far as, doing our spring field work. Now, doing the harvest, on the other hand, yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to expand much farther than where we're at. But I might just go ahead and risk it anyway. But we can't for now because I have other plans for the $168,000 that we have. And we're down to $168,000 because I ran short on herbicide. Our new field expansion there for the home north field was a little more acres than I thought, so we ended up running short. Not a big deal. At least this time it wasn't a big deal because, of how much money we have. So we're going to go ahead and get the sprayer put away. I've already got the tractor and planter put away. And I will see you guys in May. Welcome into May, everyone. It is a beautiful rainy morning, so we're going to go ahead and get all of our chores taken care of here. We've got 3, maybe 4 loads of feed we got to get hauled here. We got some cattle we need to move out of our dairy barn and down into our fat cattle lot. And we've got alfalfa to hay this month. I should say alfalfa to mow and turn into hay. And we've got soybeans to sell this month. So with the rain, we're going to go ahead and get our chores done, get our milk sold, and then move into selling our soybeans right away and wait out this rain. Hopefully it stops here pretty soon. And once, hopefully once we're done hauling all of our soybeans and getting all of those sold, we can go ahead and get the mower out and start mowing down our alfalfa. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these chores done, and I'll catch up to you guys when we're ready to sell off our milk. All right, we've got 3,533 gallons of milk on. So we'll get this run down to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. And as we drive down the highway here, you can see our cornfields look absolutely fantastic. No weeds, Every corn plant looks like it came up. I don't see any skips. Looks like I did a pretty good job here. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to add $900. All right, so that puts us at $171,356. That's a pretty good start for the day, if you ask me. So we're going to go ahead back to the home place here, get this milk trailer unhooked, put a little diesel in the truck, hook up to the hopper, and start hauling our soybeans down to the co-op. All right, we got our first load of soybeans on the trailer here. So we'll get this run down to the co-op and get it sold off. All right, we're getting pulled into the co-op here, getting ready to sell off our beans, and we are selling these for $8.39 a bushel. So we'll go ahead and get these sold off and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we need to take back $49,976. So that puts us at $181,048. So we'll head back to the home place here, make this trip a few more times, and it's not going to be as many times as with corn. We're definitely not going to have that many loads, but we are going to have quite a few. I'm guessing maybe 10-ish. So I'll catch up to you guys on the last load, and hopefully by then, this rain has quit. All right, we're getting pulled in here at the co-op with our last load of soybeans, and it has finally stopped raining, so that's very, very good. Now we'll go ahead and get this load sold off. We've got 680 bushels on here, and we need to take back $30,079. So that puts us at $286,234. So we'll head back to the home place, get the mower out, and start knocking down our alfalfa. All right, we got all of our alfalfa mowed down. We got it all raked and tedded, and we are now ready to bale. So we'll go ahead and get this baler fired up, get it dropped down. Bale counter is reset. And I genuinely have no idea how many bales we're going to get off this field. I'm guessing, kind of hoping anyway, for at least 200, maybe a little more. Genuinely unsure, so we'll go ahead, get all of this baled up, and see how many bales we end up with at the end. All right, we're rolling up here on the end. Finally getting all of our hay baled up here. And we're sitting at 205 bales. Don't think this will be enough. I'm like 90% sure this won't be enough to make another bale. So yeah, 205 bales off of this field. That's awesome. I was hoping for 200. We got 205. So very, very happy with that. Not going to complain one bit. But now we got to get all these bales picked up, and that is going to take a bit. But we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. So if you guys like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.